Howdy, howdy, what is up? It is Courtney Rollins from Life and Transitions Experts Podcast here tonight with our weekly call. These calls are designed every Wednesday at 7 p.m. to bring someone in who is a professional, small business owner, entrepreneur in the field that is supporting people who are in transition. So we're talking about estate attorneys, real estate professionals, small business owner counselors, social workers, anyone who is involved with helping people through those big life changes, preparing for them before they happen and helping folks facilitate them as they go through them. My main area of focus is real estate probate. I help families and personal representatives who are going through the probate process. And my primary focus is coming in, I say, with big heart, and then thinking with our heads and then working with our hands to make things happen, to hopefully present best possible solutions for the family, for the personal representatives, and for the estate. And as I've been doing that, I have been gracious or grateful enough to understand the need for us to avoid probate in the first place. And so it is a great honor to be able to find out so much information about estate planning and the need for us, especially folks who are interested, who are serious about building generational wealth, which so many of us entrepreneurs and small business owners are. We need to make sure we have our estates in place. So if you're looking for or you need an estate attorney, reach out, estateproservice.com. I can connect you with a national registry of some of the top vetted estate professionals. And if not, I definitely urge you to go out there and check it out. What's up, Jeremy? What's up, folks? So yeah, tonight, actually, the person who was supposed to join me tonight, Darius Ford, I was so excited, had a family event. So, or a family unexpected emergency. So we definitely want to send out our blessings and prayers to Darius. Hopefully he gets back on. I'm so excited about the line of guests that we have coming up the next couple of weeks. Jeremy, you're going to be one of them. Jeremy's a great cold calling and prospecting and sales trainer. So folks who are out here who are talking direct to the either seller, if you're a real estate investor, or direct to the buyer, being able to have the skills to be able to connect with people over the phone and have those great quality conversations means the world of difference of being able to make this a business or a hobby or something that you just dabble in and can't get any traction off of. So definitely tune in next week to check it out. But today, what we're going to do is we're just going to take a look at what wholesaling is, because again, that's what's my bread and butter. That's what brought me into this space. That's what brought me actually into the probate real estate world. As I dug into even a deeper niche. But I'm going to take a step back and just give a quick review for folks who are listening at home, folks who are on listening from the podcast, or maybe watching this on YouTube. You may be wondering, what is wholesaling in the first place? So let me share my screen and we'll go over that. And of course, if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, feel free to drop them in and we'll take them as we go there. Let's see. You think I'd be a whiz at the whole share screen thing or the Zoom. There we go. We're all supposed to be wizards in that now. Okay, share my screen. I'll just click share screen. All right. Oh, and I can still see my pretty face. All right, so wholesaling basics. Again, Courtney Rollins, Estate Pro Service, and do REI Deals. And host of the Life and Transitions podcast. So this is sort of the flow agenda that we'll go through, discuss just the basics of real estate investing, and then what this wholesaling strategy is all about, look at some of the basics and discuss the difference between a job, a hobby, and a business. And then hopefully we have time. Definitely, if there's any questions, take your questions. I am not a financial advisor. I am not giving any legal advice as well. I'm just sharing the things that I've learned over the last 3 years, wholesaling over 59 properties, generating over $400,000 in revenue, keeping a good portion of that as well. And I want to let you know that there are many ways in real estate investing. There's some folks who believe that wholesaling is, I'm just going to be frank with you, is like the thing you should not do because most of the folks that I've heard with a valid argument is that, hey, you want to keep these properties. If you're developing the skills to be able to secure and find real estate deals, that is a gem that you have. And to throw away those properties is going against building generational wealth, because as you'll see, wholesaling, you can make a lot of money really quickly. But if you're not turning it into an investment or turning it into something that's going to generate wealth for you, then you're just having a high paid job, a lot of income, and Uncle Sam's going to be happy for that, because he'll be able to snatch up his portion. Yeah, so there's many different ways into wholesale to our real estate investing. But again, the skill of being able to find deals is essential, whether you wholesale or not. All right. Financial freedom is one of the reasons why I went into generational wealth. A while back, I was in a former life, was about to get married and all these different things. And for 20 years, I was an educator. I thought that was my ticket. I was going to plant little rebels, and we were just going to be hippies out there in the world, love, peace, and soul, and all that good stuff. And I'm still a hippie at heart. And the reality of knowing that, hey, I probably had some self-limiting beliefs about money. I've faced that with myself. I had some self-limited beliefs, and I felt like many of us, that if you have money or money was the root of all evil, or those things of that nature. But what it really was for me, and I can't say for you, but it really was me copping out and not being able to accept the fact that, hey, you can be great, you can be prosperous. This world is abundant. God, the universe, or however you want to identify the entity, actually wants to experience wealth and abundance through me. And I can actually help people and change and commit to change way easier if I have funds to do so. So one of the reasons is I want to build generational wealth. My great grandkids need to know my impact if they don't know my name. Again, knowing that I put out as much as I can, and I'm connected and doing things that are within my values, also gives me self-satisfaction. And heart and mind congruency I wouldn't trade that for anything. So I want my heart and mind to be congruent. And I'm picking up golf. I need to get back to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to get my black belt. I need that time freedom. I want my family as it grows for me to be able to be there. So those are some of the reasons why I've chose to really burn the bridges. Is it burn the bridges? Burn the ships. I don't want to burn bridges. Burn the ships. And I'm going straight ahead in this. And maybe that's one of the reasons why you are also on this track, right? The great quote from Robert Kiyosaki: "I'd rather be happy than rich. My rich dad said, why not be both?" I hear that. And here's another thing from the cash flow quadrant in the Robert Kiyosaki school. You've probably seen these before, but these are great examples of what the difference is between what you may call poor or impoverished, middle class, and rich. Quite often, when you have to work, or you're forced to work because maybe you haven't had the opportunity to see other ways out, or you feel restricted by the things around you, income comes in, you pay your expenses, and then there's nothing left over to build. Now, you might not even have enough money to get liabilities such as car and houses and even attract debt at that time. But the middle class, if you do have those funds to be able to buy liabilities, quite often your income comes in, you pay for your liabilities, and you pay for your expenses, and there's even less money. There's more month left, and there's money at the end of the month. But what the rich and very intelligent are doing, and what you can do, whatever stage you are with the income you're generating, is take savings and quickly make those savings go to work. Make your money make money for you by purchasing, investing in assets. And there's tons of assets, right? Any asset is anything that generates income for you. A liability is anything that takes income from you. And I'm not saying liabilities are wrong, because we want to enjoy the world, but what rich do is make their assets generate the income that's going to allow them to pay for their liabilities and expenses. And you and I do the same thing, whether you're doing real estate, bonds, notes, intellectual property. Investing in yourself could be courses or coaching program that's going to give you a return. Anything that gives you a return, you need to consider that an investment and consider that an asset. And your biggest asset, right, is your mind, right? So let's see. So one of the reasons for real estate is that it has so many levers that you can pull. If you are a buy and hold investor, or maybe a note investor, you can generate cash flow. That means after you've paid all your expenses of this, hopefully this asset, you're able to receive funds each day or each month or each whatever the duration or iteration of it is. But the point is that you're making more money than you're losing. each time you have a transaction, whether it's a rental or paying on the note. Quite often, real estate appreciates. In the last 3 or 4 years, we saw historic rises. And although prices are correcting on a historical basis, real estate goes up. So the appreciation, I'm now not suggesting that you invest based on appreciation. Let that be the cream of the crop. Invest. I would definitely recommend you invest for cash flow and for some of the other practicalities here, right? Leverage. You get to use your real estate asset and go to different financial lenders or partners and leverage that and get great debt. I mean, that's what the banks are doing. As soon as you put your money into a bank, what's it doing? It's loaning it out. It's producing transactions and leveraging. And so there are such things as good debt. Also, the practicality, everywhere you go, there's real estate involved pretty much almost everywhere, whether it's land or if you're in a building, real estate involved. So it's very hard for you or me to go, if I invest in something and go off to Vegas or Atlantic City and gamble away. I guess you can gamble away the deed. So I'm talking, but it's very difficult to lose that asset in such a quick fashion as maybe some other possible, what we call assets out there. And then there's the tax benefits. I highly recommend, if you are wholesaling, that 1 out of every 4 properties that you wholesale, you find a way to hold on to and create something that's going to allow you to generate some tax sheltering. And that's by doing the behavior that Uncle Sam wants you to do. Uncle Sam loves when you provide solid housing. There's other things that Uncle Sam loves for you to do and will give you tax write-offs for, but if you are doing the behavior in a way that has integrity, right, then you should receive the benefits because you're providing value to society. Now, one of the reasons that I was so attracted to wholesaling is because as an educator, I didn't have as much funds as I thought that I should be really valued at, and I just couldn't get things going. So wholesaling was a very low barrier of entry because, as one of my mentors at the time told me, you need 2 of 3 things to be successful in wholesaling or really almost anything. You need money, hustle, knowledge. If you have 2 of those things, the other one will come. Now, I did not have the money, but darn sure had the hustle, and knew that just like any other human being, I could learn and continue to learn because I'm still learning. And so having all 3 is amazing. Having at least 2 of those, you can definitely move to the next one. And so it's that's one of the things that I like about the low barrier entry for wholesaling. Now, there are many ways to invest. As I said, as a passive investor, you may do private lending or do some of the stock and bonds with their REITs and all. Again, maybe you're the notes, or maybe you do have rentals. And some people say rentals are not passive because you're dealing with termites, toilets, and tenants. Or perhaps you are a equity or debt partner in a deal. But if you're a wholesaling, then you're definitely an active investor. And I do have a couple of links of other active investors investing here. Buy and live in, where you house hack a property, get a property at a really good rate because you're buying it in your personal name and living in it while you're fixing it up, and then go and turn it into an asset by having it generate income for you. Buy and sell, that's a common flipper. Buy and hold, that's the typical landlord there. So wholesaling, now we're down to what wholesaling is. And let me check and see if am I dismissing folks out here. We're going to keep rocking and rolling here. So wholesaling is just like you're finding a product at a deeply discounted price. You have the rights to resell that product, or the contract to that product. If we're talking about wholesaling, you find an end buyer, now you assign your rights to that end buyer. It is simple as that. You find a motivated seller or a seller, get property under contract at a deeply discounted price, and then you assign it. So for instance, you find a property, you put it on the contract for $250,000. Now you're assigning the contract, not the property, because you're not selling property, but you're selling the rights to that contract. You're assigning that contract, and maybe you assign it for $260, $270, $275, $300, and you make that spread in the middle. Wholesaling is old as ever. There's wholesalers for furniture, wholesalers for shoes, wholesaling for food products. So it's something, the concept that if you think about it in other industries, it's something that's been around. We're just talking about real estate, and real estate has such a huge income margin relative to these other products that you're able to generate a good amount of income and help people who are in stress, because that's the next thing we think about. We'll talk about what we aren't, but who are the folks that we are seeking to serve in this situation. So unless you are a hybrid agent, which a lot of people are moving towards that area where you have a real estate license, you don't have a fiduciary responsibility to the seller or the buyer. Now, that doesn't mean that you go out and just be as just notorious and unscrupulous, I guess is the word, unscrupulous as possible, or I think it's unscrupulous. SAT word. You still should serve at a high level. A lot of great things about the changes that are made in laws and this rise in wholesaling is that to stand apart, you really have to do what you say you're going to do. You really have to have self-integrity, or you're not going to survive long. You're going to burn, you're going to burn out. But it makes it easy for folks like you to stand out if you are serving at a high level. And that means doing what you say you're going to do. And that doesn't mean you make silly promises. It actually means you just be as honest as you can with the seller that you're speaking with and with your buyers and all your partners. And that's going to show, and that's going to allow you to connect with more folks and hopefully add more value and get more things done and make a lot more money. Yeah. Why would anyone sell? We're talking about folks who are in distress. Imagine a pawn shop. Why are there pawn shops all over the world, really? Why? Because people are in situations where they're willing to trade speed and convenience for a discounted price. Folks who are going through divorce, folks who need to move quickly, folks who are, I'm in the realm of probate where someone has passed away. They did not have, whether they had a will or not, they didn't have the other legal remedies to avoid probate, and now this person has inherited property, or the estate has so much debt on it that it needs to find a way to pay the debt. And one of the biggest ways you can do that is selling the property there. You know, I have divorce up here twice, so it must be really on my mind. Someone has tax issues. There's tons of reasons, foreclosure, there's tons of reasons people need to sell quickly. And so those are the folks that we need to serve and that we target. All right. I was saying, think about the pawn shop. All right. Successful wholesalers need to be able to find leads. You need to be able to quickly analyze a deal and find out if it is a deal. And you need to be able to market the lead out properly, as well as dispo and go through that transaction. And so these are all steps that you can, that you are able to do. There's tons of resources on YouTube. I highly recommend you do find one or two voices that really resonate with you and see if they have any coaching or program or courses, and check it out, because YouTube University is amazing. I'm one of the graduates of YouTube University, even though I did get a master's degree in coaching and still take mentorships. People who are successful leave clues, and those folks have coaches and mentors, as well as being able to focus. Being able to focus is so important when you are listening on YouTube to so many different voices, or if you were like me and listening to Bigger Pocket, and each episode I was so fired up. Oh, I'm going to be a storage self-storage wholesaler. Oh, I'm going to be a land wholesaler. I'm going to do notes. Oh, all those different things, they all work, but to be able to focus is what's going to give you the ability to gain traction. So I say all that to say, if you are doing wholesaling, I would highly recommend you find a voice or someone who resonates with you. And there are a lot of amazing folks out there that can help. I'm not trying to sell anything at all. I do have free scripts and free sales systems, and I offer free one-on-one counseling, or not counseling, but consultation and conversation, because I feel a high, strong need to give back. Because that's one of the reasons, one of the ways I'm able to receive so much is by hopefully giving. And being able to turn this into a business versus a hobby is essential. And that's why having systems and steps is crucial. Now, don't let this paralyze you. I'm definitely from the school of ready, shoot, aim. And check this out. If you are listening to this on a podcast, definitely go check out the YouTube channel, Life and Transitions Experts, to see the slides and the supporting this conversation here. Because just like Jim Rohn says, we rarely rise to the level of our goals, but we always fall to the level of our systems. And I may be tearing that up, but that is the honest truth. You are your habits, and imagine your systems being your habits. And again, that's not meant to scare anyone. It's actually quite fun, because we all have systems for everything we do. Think about when you wake up first thing in the morning, you have a system for getting up out of the bed, whether it's hitting the alarm 15, 11 million times, or you get one toe out, or you just hop up. You have a system for that. You have a system for brushing your teeth. You have a system for the way you talk to people. Much of our life is dictated by habits. And if we just take a little time to examine them, then we can really engineer our life in the stronger ways, because we can also find folks who are doing it in the ways we want to do it, and copy, paste, and modify and adapt those systems to get the outcomes we want to get. So it's a fun thing to do. It's just a matter of being able to document what you're doing and be aware of what you're doing, and surround yourself with folks who are doing it at a high level, or the level you want to do it at. Here's some other ideas of ways to find leads. You can drive around your neighborhood and find the most ugly houses in those nice neighborhoods, and get the address. There's so many apps out there to skip trace. I mean, there's a gazillion of them. You can go to county or public records and get public records of tax delinquents or absentee owners. There's awesome tools out there that you can use. Again, if you want any tools, or you need any direction, hit me up and I will point you out to the ones that I've used that I thought were pretty awesome. I do have one affiliation, well, a couple of affiliations. One is RESimpli. That's a customer relation management tool that I'm not really talking about here, but you definitely will need that as you keep going down the road if you continue to wholesale or just be a real estate investor. But there's tons of them here. Probates, as I said, for sale by owner signs. There's just so many ways that you can find and talk to people and ask them quite simply, hey, are you interested in selling your property there? Now, when it comes to analyzing the deals, there's tons of tools. We're not going to go deep into that at this stage. Maybe this is another podcast. But the bottom line is, to find out how much a property is worth, is you need to find out how much people are buying it for. It doesn't matter all the 70% rule, 85% rule, 1% rule. All this stuff is really about, hey, what are the cash buyers? Because that's who you're going to be focusing on. Because when we say speed and convenience, that means we're going to cash buyers who can buy quickly, buy your contract and satisfy the terms of the contract quickly. And so what are they buying those properties that are similar to that for? And make sure you put your margin in so that you can make your assignment fee. And that's really, so you find out what the cash buyers are buying similar properties for that are in that same condition. And you know, you're a leg up already if you have the property under contract. And then, of course, marketing. There's so many awesome ways. I use Carrot. It's just a great website. There's Facebook Marketplace. There's so many places that you can go. Good old Craigslist is an awesome place. Networking with folks. And what I love JVing, joint venturing, partnering with other folks. I seem to have a affinity towards acquiring the properties. And if I can have those awesome folks out there, and I've been able to connect with some amazing folks out there who will push the properties out and find a buyer, and we'll split the property. And I would rather have 50% of something than 0%. Nope, 100% of nothing. Yes. So there's so many ways that you can market the deal. And of course, a lot of people may be concerned about, what if I can't sell the property? Well, if you're doing this properly and you're following the right coaching, you are going to quite often put in an inspection period after you've locked up the contract. And this gives you time, if you're being honest, of course, with your lead or with your seller, for you to get your contractors in there, your other partners in there, the people who might buy the property or buy the contract from you, need to be able to see the property. And so if during that time, no one has satisfied or no one's stepped up and said, yes, we'll buy the property, then you need to, in that time, let the seller know. So there are contingencies that you put in place to protect yourself and, quite frankly, protect the seller, because you don't want them out there for 30, 40, 50 days thinking you're about to sell the property. And then next thing you find out, you just couldn't find a buyer. And now they're missed out on opportunities. Everyone's upset. Your integrity is challenged and you have to dust yourself off and keep going. And it's, but you don't have to put yourself in that position if you follow the proper contingencies. All right. So disposition, this is another opportunity to network with some awesome attorneys, real estate attorneys, title companies, and other spaces. Title companies in states where they do title outside of the, well, there's always a legal or attorney involved. but these are escrow title companies, almost synonymous. There's maybe some distinctions legally that I may not even be aware of, but it can be done by an attorney or a title company. Or and yeah, that's disposition, means selling the contract and getting the thing done. All right, folks. So this is looking a little deep into my org chart there, but we're going to go some of the pros and cons. Some of the pros, it's less risky. It usually takes less money. You learn how to find great deals. You get to pick deals for yourself. You can do it virtually. Some of the cons is that until you build out a strong SEO or referral network, it still is a lot of time. That's why a lot of people don't want to be direct to seller marketers when it comes to wholesaling or even other industries. It takes a lot of time to build up the funnel. Usually takes 90 days for first contact to close on a deal that's closed. But then quite often it takes maybe months and years for you actually to get a property, that person to even get to the point where they're ready to say yes. And that's not to be discouraging. That's actually very encouraging if you are willing, committed to step in and do the work and be consistent. It works if you do. Shout out to Brent Daniels. It works if you do. But if you're not putting in the proper, depending on your marketing strategy, if you stop working, it stops working as well. So those are some of the challenges that you may find. Hey, we're here at the end. Again, this is Courtney Rollins from the Estate Pro Service Life and Transitions Experts podcast host. And I'm here to tell you, if you are interested in partnering on deals or you want some scripts or other resources, go to REIDeals.com. It's going to ask you to put your email in and we'll send over whatever you need. There's inventory there. If you have buyers that you're interested in JVing with me, or perhaps you're a buyer, go check it out. As well as I'm very passionate about helping families who are navigating the probate process. My primary focus is real estate probate. However, even if you don't have if you have a probate related issue, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a financial advisor as well, but I love helping folks out. So even if you don't have real estate involved, hit me up, estateproservice.com. I'll try my best to connect you with folks that can help you along the way or help the folks you're involved in. And go check out our Facebook group, Life and Transitions Experts. Yes, on Facebook, on Instagram, the YouTube channel, all those great places. This is Courtney Rollins. Let me check and see. I may not have anyone in the chat. I'm having a hard time remembering to monitor that. Let's see. All right. Oh, yeah. Got a stack. Good tidings. What's going on, Tia? What's up, folks? Yeah, thanks for checking it out. Wholesale first, to stack and learn. Yes, a lot of people, their entry level is wholesaling. I'm not trying to hold anyone back, though. There are folks who've jumped in, who've just gone straight to other forms of real estate investing. And that's awesome. That's great. Highly encourage folks to grab and hold on to property and real estate. And if you feel like perhaps income is a challenge for you right now, well, I don't give you any self-limited belief. If for whatever reason wholesaling resonates with you, go after it. Whatever it is, go after it. You got this. And rising tides. And check us out next week. We'll be back on with Jeremy Marquise. I can't wait to sit down with you, man, and learn more about what you're doing and how you're helping so many people do amazing things. Courtney Rollins, Rising Tides, it lifts all sails. Peace.